Well, this video, just real quick, if anyone, is using one of these body heaters, either an interior blind and tent, wherever, if you're using one of these, obviously you have the option of buying this extension hose to go to a bulk tank. However, I have noticed that there's a problem when you use those. So I noticed one night I was sleeping in here, the pilot kept going out. It would like sputter and it looked like liquid from the tank was just sputtering out of there and putting the pilot out. And it was making a loud whistling noise. Come to find out that your larger tanks, I guess, have too much pressure. I don't know exactly what happens, but you need to run a filter from the tank to the heater. So these filters you can get on Amazon really cheap. I even got the Mr. Heater, the same brand, and it basically just goes on the side of the heater, and then you puck your hose into it, and it makes it filters any contaminants, liquid, and just keeps straight gas going into that, or propane going straight into the heater. So I just put it on the side there, fired it back up, and I got a nice, quiet, smooth, consistent flame, and it's doing way better. Now another tip, obviously I don't have the bottom insulated. I might at some point, but for now I don't. There's just insulation that runs through the top. With that being said, I got a battery-powered fan on eBay, or Amazon. It was like 15 bucks, and I just screwed it down so it can swivel if need be. It has 3 different speeds, so low, medium, high, obviously. And I put it above the heater to the point where this doesn't melt or get too hot, but it's also pushing that heat down. And it's 31 degrees outside right now currently, and I literally just turned this on a little bit ago. Within the last hour, it's already 56 degrees in here. So if you're going to run one of these, I highly recommend buying 2 filters, not just one, and just having a spare in case it gets clogged up, and then, you're good to go. These propane tanks, the hose, the filter, and the heater, all was like $120, including the heater. And then obviously you just need the propane tank. But they do a tremendous job. In here, of course, like I said, it's 31, and it's also really windy out. It's very toasty in here compared to outside. It's only going to get hotter. I slept out here the other night, and I left the heater on all night. When I woke up, it was 85 degrees in here. It was like high 30s outside, so it was too hot. But this fan makes a huge difference in circulating, kind of pushing that warm air over, before it rises up here. Because just sticking my hand up here, I could feel before the heat difference just from here to there. And now it's feeling a lot more even in here, which makes sense. I also added a little cooktop. Don't mind the floor, I got sweep up in here. But I got this on at Kohl's for like 70 bucks. It has 2 burners in it. And instead of running the bulk propane tank, these are cheap enough and they'll last, just little Coleman propane tanks. And I have a little shelf that folds out so I can cook right here, and there's a little arm that swings down on the bottom to lock up against the wall. So I'm able to cook breakfast or heat up coffee or, whatever I want to cook or heat up. I have a little cooktop. And while I'm doing this real quick, this is kind of the not so fun part, but it's also necessary. We'll call this area the bathroom. The funnel, I just got a funnel from the garage and mounted it to the wall, and there's PVC pipe that goes in it all the way through the bottom, all the way to the ground, and then into the ground with perforated pipe. So at least you can pee out here and not have to alert deer with the smell or anything. And then I got it's just some spray, just spraying it afterwards so I don't have to smell it in here. If you don't know what this is, it's kind of gross, but it is what it is. So it's a bucket, aka the toilet. Again, if you're out in the woods, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's here. I keep a couple garbage bags in there to line up around the edge. And then the pool noodle is the seat, I guess you can call it, but it makes it a little more comfortable to sit on. So when you're done, you can tie the bags off, and when you leave, you just carry them with you and throw them in the trash bin or something. But if you're gonna have that, you gotta have that. And these heaters are also, they're ventless, they're safe. They do have a low oxygen shutoff and a tilt shutoff, which I'm not gonna do right now. But if you tilt this it off one direction, or if it's basically, if I was to take this and move it off this hook, it would shut off. Just that would do it. So if it ever did fall or it consumes too much oxygen, it shuts off. So it's a nice safety feature to have. So even if you're in a tent, if you're blind, hell, even in a small garage, they do a good job. But just wanted to show you guys to make sure to get those filters, because I don't know what kind of safety risk it poses other than it shutting off, but two things in the back of my mind I was thinking. One, if it shuts off, I don't know if this thing actually shuts off with gas flow. Probably does, but I'm not sure. So you don't want abundant propane filling up in an enclosed area, because that could be obviously an explosion risk. The other thing is when that pilot started sputtering, there was liquid flying everywhere when I was doing it, and I could think that, I would imagine that would be a fire risk, because if that liquid ignited and it was dripping down, obviously you know what could happen. So, just wanted to show you guys that. Again, the filters. You can do you can search Mr. Heater fuel filter, or you can just put propane filter. They look just like that. So, alrighty, take care.